What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of That Hobby Show. With me, as always, is Houston from Chasing the Graph. Uh, we were supposed to have a special guest, but there was some scheduling issues. So I guess that that happens when you're a celebrity, I would say, and not two guys making a live stream in your bedrooms. So they have a lot. We have a lot more free time on our hands than they do. So
Yeah,
uh, no big deal. I always have a backup plan. So uh, I wanted to talk
always be
about
prepared.
yeah. Got to have a backup and a backup to the backup. But uh, one of the interesting things that's happened. Not even the last year, probably 18 months, I would say. Besides COVID, the obvious thing is it would have what I would think is the reverse effect on the hobby, and trading cards are blowing up like the late 80s and early 90s. So if anybody's familiar with Twitter, trading card Twitter, or even on Facebook, you've probably seen the photos of lawn chairs outside of Targets and Walmarts of people actually camping out overnight, waiting for the actual vendor to stock the trading cards. And it's gotten to the point where cops have had to been called on customers for following the vendors to different locations. And I don't know if Walmart has done it. I know some Walmarts have just gotten out of the trading card business completely, but
Yep.
places like Target have actually put limits on the amount of trading cards you can buy, and they've moved them to the customer service counter. So uh, you though, Houston, you've been on quite the hot streak lately with finding retail. So what is your secret?
Basically wasting an absolute ton of lunch breaks. You
Hmm.
get spending 50 minutes of your hour going to here. I can say it's not as bad. I don't literally spend 15 or 50 minutes of my hour lunch break looking because I get the way it works is you can hit Walmart or Target, then within a half a mile there's Walmart, and then within a half a mile of that there is um, Barnes and Noble, which have
Mm.
started cards if that's a sign of the times that we're in, and then probably just another like 4 or 5 minutes from there is another Walmart. So if you play your cards right, pun intended, then
Yeah,
just like how I threw that in there, then
yeah.
um then you can hit all three or four locations in a matter of about 25 to 30 minutes. So mainly just putting in the time going making that same route before work because luckily my work's less than 2 miles from all of that. So
Okay.
um yeah, so hitting before work on lunch break and after work, and 99% of the time it usually happens while I'm at work is when the drop gets made.
Yeah,
But
the re-up.
but yeah, but I have learned this week there was a couple of people a few months ago. It was the same two guys. I ran into them at Target several times, like standing in line just waiting. And I thought they were flippers and was like kind of pretty much judging them. But the more I've like been in, been at Walmart or Target with them, I've learned that they're not. But
Yeah.
I learned the other day that one of the Walmart employees, and I actually heard it with my own ears this time, but I've heard from one of them that one of the Walmart employees actually brags about how they get to go through the MJ holding boxes before everything gets put out. So that kind of puts a damper on things. But for the people that do collect, NBA or basketball cards or football cards, it's you're just not going to get them around here because the employees go through the MJ holdings boxes and get all the basketball and football out. So that kind of puts a
So for people that aren't in the loop, who is MJ Holdings?
MJ Holdings, they're what the trading cards are sent to Walmart in. They're not sent to Walmart in a Walmart, semi truck along with the groceries and the shampoos and the dog food. It's sent to Walmart by UPS through MJ Holdings, and then they actually have Anderson merchandising representatives that come in and stock the sports cards. It's technically not Walmart's deal to stock the cards. It's really nothing of their deal. I guess if the Anderson rep were to call out sick or something, then there might be a system in place for a Walmart employee to put them out. But other than that, it's all MJ Holdings and Anderson merchandise that deals with all that.
Yeah. So one, I just thought of this. One of the things that happens a lot here in Arizona, kind of off topic, but in spring training, people are trying to get autographs, of all the big players because that's the easiest time to get them. So what I have seen some dealers do is they will pay homeless people to get autographs for them. And I'm wondering if you've seen anything like that happen with having, because I know people put their lawn chairs out at like on a Wednesday afternoon and it's not going to get stocked till Thursday. But who's to say some guy isn't going to come there and, throw your chair? At least if you have a person, you'll have, kind of guarantee that spot unless, they wander off and lose your spot. So
Yeah.
I was thinking, why don't people do that? Give them $5 to stand here. Well, they probably make more than $5 if they're panhandling, but give them half up front and then half on the back end, especially if there's a store that places limits. So why not have your little army of homeless folks that are going to put in some work for you? Because I'm kind of approaching this topic with the idea that the casual fan or collector isn't aware of just how hard it is to get retail and how much it is being flipped for on the secondary market, especially on. I don't really look it up on eBay that much, but on Twitter you see it every day, and I know that you've been pretty active with the trolling lately, so that's pretty entertaining, especially when you see on Twitter people that created their accounts in like the last month or two. It's the sneakerheads that are trying to a blaster box, for example. So people that don't know, that's the little box you'll get like maybe 8 packs, a pack or 2 of bonus packs. But those usually run $19.99, and the prices now. What are people selling blasters for now?
The NBA Prism blasters that just dropped like a week ago. Card purchaser on Twitter who basically tweets everything card related. Like this is the most expensive Series 1 hobby box on eBay right now. This is the least expensive King Griffey Jr. autograph right now. And he actually posted this morning that the cheapest NBA Prism blaster on eBay right now is $149.99 buy it now for a $20 box. And somebody had put a screenshot of their StockX sales of Prism blasters, and it was like 8 to 10 transactions, and there wasn't one on there less than like 129. So if you have if you've got somebody in your back pocket like a rep or a Walmart employee, and you're getting $20 blasters and you're getting 150 for them, that's where we're at right now with retail anyway.
Yeah, because depending on how you ship it, I could ship a blaster for right around $10. So you're in, say, gas and supplies, you're in maybe $40 tops. So
maybe
you're clearing $100 easy. So I hate it, but I also can't knock them. But I will still bust their balls for doing it because Oh, go ahead.
My whole thing is I can definitely see the appeal to it. I see why people do. I see why people do it. Whether it's just they just want that extra $500, $600, $800 a week, or if they actually just the pandemic has hit them, and that's how they're relying on it to pay their bills. My problem is where it comes into people's like respect the hustle, that's hustling. And I don't see how standing in line for an hour and handing a person 80 to $100 or $160 is hustling. That's where my whole thing comes in. It's just like, if you're gonna flip, that's fine. If you want to flip everything, or if you just want to flip 2 boxes to virtually pay for your 8 boxes, that I understand it. I can't blame people for doing it. But when you start calling it hustling and respect the hustle, that's why I'm just like, yeah, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah. Luckily for me, though, the NASCAR blasters have not been touched, so I can still send out my cards to the NASCAR drivers and get them signed. But lately here at my Walmart, the one that's closest to me, because I hate going to Walmart. I hate it with a passion. I don't know how it is in North Carolina, but it's Tucson's finest comes out at the Walmart here, man. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's just the whole section is destroyed and cleared out. But so I know you're in North Carolina. Would you say you're in like a rural part of North Carolina?
Yeah, it's I'd say it's kind of in between a small city and a small town and a big town, kind of in between that, because it's not as big as your Raleigh or your Cary or your Durham, but it's probably the same size or a little bigger as Greensboro. So I'd say it's kind of in the middle. And I know being at the Target restocks, I know for a fact, like being in line with some of the same 5 or 6 people, the three I've been there, the because much like MJ Holdings, it's Excel that stocks at Target. It's not MJ Holdings that ships the cards to Target. It's Excel, and then they have an Excel rep put the cards out.
Yeah.
And so that the same 5 or 6 people would follow her from the Target on Wendover Avenue in Greensboro. Then they would follow her to the Lawndale Target in Greensboro, and then they would follow her to the Burlington Target. And whether it was she split those, there's another Target that she hit. I'm not sure where it's at, but she has 4 total. And so
Yeah.
she hits like 2 one day and then 2 the next day, or if she hits all 4 in one day, they know her schedule to where she's going to be and when she's going to be there, and so they just follow her from store to store. And I, she's openly said, like to me, the last time I ran into her talking to her, that no one harasses her, no one gives her a hard time. It's just the same 5 or 6 people just follow her around.
Yeah. But so do they? Would you say they're flippers?
Uh, I wouldn't say the 2 that I've talked to for sure, they're kind of 60-40,
Oh,
60% collecting, but 40% flipping. Like maybe if they get 6 things, they'll flip 2 of them. So the rest of their 6 things, they're kind of ripping for free, basically.
gotcha. Do they leave any for the kids?
Nah,
No.
no.
Okay. That's why I was asking, because the flippers seem to take everything, whereas the collectors will probably leave some, not for the kids, but for whoever wants them. Because I have way too many cards, and I shouldn't be buying any anyway. So I definitely need to save some. But so, have you before the pandemic hit? How would you say your I guess your collecting style was? Would you grab a box like if you were just going there for odds and ends or whatever, or would you make specific trips to the Walmarts and the Targets to look for cards?
it was definitely a little bit of both. I would,
Yeah.
if I was like going in there for like Snickers and a Diet Coke, then I would just like take a peek. And up until probably March of last year, it all just sat on the shelf: baseball, football,
Yeah.
um, basketball. And I've never collected basketball or been into NBA, so like
Yeah.
the NBA cards, not Yeah, the NBA cards not being on the shelf doesn't bother me a bit. I'm baseball first, football second, but even up until probably March of last year, I could go to Walmart and sit there and be like, okay, do I want a value pack? Do I want a fat pack? Do I want a blaster? Do I want a mega? And then if they have 5 or 6 blasters, I could sit there and be like, play the odds, like, oh, this is the winner, this is the good box here. And then I could leave there and go to Target and do the same thing, like just stand there at the shelf for like an hour and be like, oh, do I want this? Do I want that? Oh, do I want this pack or that pack? And then it was a slow process because it was like March. It was like I noticed like, oh, there's like only one pack of cards right now. That's kind of weird. And then like the next week, I thought, oh, there's like one blaster left. That's kind of weird. And then by like the middle end of April or whatever, that's here specifically. I can't speak for anywhere else, but that's when it was just like, okay, there's nothing here. There's been nothing here for 2 weeks now. This is what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I can't honestly remember the last time that I seen. Well, no, when what was it? Bowman Platinum came out. That got cleared real fast, and then I started seeing on Twitter that people are like, "Nah, this is garbage. It's not worth it." So it sat for maybe a week on the shelf, and then it was gone. But
Yeah.
it's interesting though, because so me, the pandemic has kind of changed. It's well, not kind of. It definitely has changed how I purchase cards. Because me, uh, I was like the retail dude, always getting retail because being in Tucson, Arizona, a couple hours north, I have spring training, and every year there's new rookies, that have their first cards. So that was the way for me to, I guess, build my stash, if you would. And with spring training it almost being completely canceled last year, and then this year at the games you weren't allowed to get autographs, and the backfields, those were completely closed to fans. So there really hasn't been any reason for me to get newer stuff other than, like I said, NASCAR, because those dudes sign TTM like clockwork. But
They do.
I, yeah, I have gone the vintage route. Like I, I have gone hardcore into vintage, and just buying stuff that I normally wouldn't buy. Like I'm not a huge NBA. I used to be big into the NBA, but not anymore. I can't watch NBA without fans. That's one sport I
Yeah.
can't do it without fans because I need that atmosphere type thing. But I've been really getting into vintage NBA cards. Like I don't know why, but like the ABA cards. One of my favorite movies is Semi Pro, loosely based on ABA, and I just love the photos. It's you got the dudes with the afros, and then the white dudes with the porn mustache. It's like, hey, I'm playing the Kentucky Colonels at 4 o'clock, but after the game, there's a gangbang that I got to go film. That's what they look like. And
Yes, definitely.
just seeing these teams that don't exist anymore, the photographs and everything, and the really good thing is, at least in my opinion, everybody's so hot on Trae Young and Zion and Ja, and everybody's pumping all kinds of money into their cards. But I mean, I picked up a Wilt Chamberlain. It was like second or third year card of one of the greatest NBA players of all time. I think it cost me $40, and it's not a beat up card either, dude.
That's
It's in
illegal.
really good shape. I know, and like vintage, I'm a diehard baseball fan, so vintage baseball, I'll always buy that. But hell, I've even started buying hockey cards of these guys. They're Hall of Famers, that they don't carry their cards right now don't have the same value as a second or third year player, which blows my mind because, okay, these guys are already in the Hall of Fame. They're one of the all time greats, and these kids, this is what they're aspiring to be. but you're paying quadruple the price for the speculation. I get, and then people hate saying that sports cards are investment. I think if you do it right, though, you can. Because I've definitely started selling some of my more recent cards, flipping them and just putting it back into vintage. And what my plan is, hopefully, PSA and everybody will the backlog will stop, and then that'll give me time to send the cards in, get them graded with the value level, the cheapest level, but it also takes the longest to get it back. Use those graded cards and then flip them for our trip to the national next year, which hopefully I'll be able to fund that trip depending on where it's at. It's supposed to be in Chicago this year. Last year, I believe it was supposed to have been in Atlantic City. So, I mean, hell, I'd be cool with Texas, but I've never been to Chicago. Well, only the airports, but that doesn't count. So that'd be fun. So that's what I want to do. Kind of make my hobby self-sustaining, I guess. You know.
Yeah, and I think that's a what a lot of people are doing is basically using card purchases to fund card purchases, basically.
Oh, you
Uh,
got to.
yeah, yeah,
Because
and
if you're paying secondary retail prices, you're not going to do it on a full-time minimum wage job. It's impossible. You're gonna do the commit the ultimate sin in collecting, and that's put your collection on your credit card. That is something you do not want to do because each
and
day
I'm sure there's
it's
people doing
higher.
it right now.
Yeah, yeah, and I know. I mean, I'm not super rich or anything, but I can't understand the people that are able to go into Target and pay $500 on retail cards without using a credit card. That just blows my mind. But yeah, but there's people that
And
do.
the this past Friday was the first Friday that the Target here has done the cards will be released at 8 a.m. Like get in line or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's absolutely like cards drop at 8. I'm not. There's no way I'm getting there before 7. Like if I get there like 10 minutes till or 5 minutes till, that's fine. But I'm not getting there 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. It's just not happening.
Mm.
And there was a guy. I got there at 7. I was sixth in line. There was a guy that was third in line, and as soon as I walked up, he's like, "Yo, you got a lighter?" So I'm like, "No." Anyway, the
We're told we need to start a fire.
yeah, keep everybody warm out here while we wait.
Yeah.
But so about 20 minutes till the manager of the Target comes out, and he has a lady with her, and he introduces her. He's like, she's going to be the one grabbing your items and cashing you out. He's like, I'm Otis, the store manager. And he was like, you're not going to cut in line. You're not going to stand less than 6 feet apart. You're going to come up. You're going to get three items. You're going to pay for them, and you're going to be done. There's not going to be any of this like fussing or anything like that, which I thought was. I even thanked him afterwards because they handled it very well, considering it was the first drop. There was probably 20 people in line total. It was, who knew what was going to happen? Long story short, about 10 minutes before the store opens, this guy that is third in line, his wife and daughter comes up and stands in line with him.
Mm.
So now I just went from sixth to ninth. And so the two people in front of him, and what they don't tell you is 3 items per UPC. It's not just 3 items and you're done. It's 3 items per UPC.
Okay, so then that means you could only get 1 blaster instead of 3 blasters, 1 fat pack, and 1 mega. Because
it's like quite the opposite. You could get, like, if you wanted, you could get 3 Don Russ basketball blasters. That's 1 UPC. You could get 3 NBA Prism blasters. That's 1. Yeah. And so the 2 people that go first, they get 3 NBA Prisms, 3 Don Russ blasters, and then this guy that was third, his time comes, and by the time it was done, him, his wife, and his daughter all got 3 NBA Prism blasters, and 3 Don Russ blasters. 6 times 3, 6, 12, 18. That was 18 boxes right there. And the mom went to pay. They had to pay separate transactions, and every single time the mom inserted the chip in her card, it declined all 3 times. Going back to what you were saying, I don't know if it was just a debit card and they didn't have the money on it, or if it was a credit card and it was maxed out. But everybody was like perturbed that they had already cut in line basically, and now here they are. They've got 8 boxes between the 3 of them, and now their card's declining. So it was just like.
So what happened?
She pulled out some cash from her wallet and paid for each one that way, and then they left. And later on, one of the 2 guys that I've been referring to, he was like, I was wondering if anybody was going to say something to him. He was like, but he had just got a text a few minutes before that. We had all paid and got our cards and were just kind of standing around talking. And apparently that same morning, about 10 minutes before we all were done and got our cards, the Target at Lawndale, somebody tried to cut in line, and somebody called him out and was like, hey, bro, you're not cutting in. And the dude that cut in pulled his gun out on him.
Oh, man. That is
over some square pieces of cardboard.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm passionate about the hobby, but then I have to remember that it's just a piece of cardboard. So, I mean, if you looked at my room, you wouldn't think that it was just a piece of cardboard because of how much shit I have. But still, at the end of the day, it is just a materialistic thing. But yeah, that's crazy. And that's probably why I wouldn't have said nothing. I hate people like that, but it would probably depend on what type of mood I was in. Like, if I was working night shift and I just got off work and they're trying to pull this, then yeah, I would probably get a little uppity. If I was like on my day off or something, then I probably wouldn't care, because you're usually more laid back. But there was something else I seen on Twitter the past couple of days that I wanted to ask you about. That it's not card related, but if you were at any type of baseball game, let's go professional baseball game, so minor league to MLB, you catch a home run ball, do you give it to a child? Now, you don't have kids. I have kids, so I kind of got that out where I can be like, oh, no, here, I'm giving it to my kid alone,
Yeah, but, I mean, at the end of the day, I definitely would. It's something I've thought about over and over. I definitely would. Yeah. It's just like this. I'm just too. I would say I'm just too nice, and that's probably why I don't get like more retail than I do, because I know the Anderson merchandising rep that stocks both Walmarts. I seen her like 2 days ago. She was setting up a display and putting stuff out in pharmacy. And I talked to her about her dog and everything. And most other people just be like, when are you putting the cards out?
Yeah.
I'm just too nice. It's like, even at Target, when I got up there, there was one blaster left. And the kid behind me, I was talking to him before the store ever opened. And he's reading a chemistry book. And I'm talking to him. And he's like standing in line reading a chemistry textbook. And I'm just like, is this like your leisure reading or what? And he's like, no, I'm about to graduate high school, and then I'm going to go to NC State. And I'm going to major in chemistry. And we got to talking, and he was just like, I hope there's some basketball left, because I just want to grab some for my little brother's birthday, which is tomorrow. And so I get up to the counter, and I see the Don Russ baseball, and I'm just like, Don Russ baseball. And the kid behind me, he's like, there's one Don Russ basketball blaster left. You're not going to grab it? I said, no, man, that's all yours. You wanted it for your brother anyway. And so it's just like, I could have just took that Don Russ basketball box for $20 and probably could have flipped it for 60 easily. But the kid behind me wanted, for his brother's birthday. So I was just like, that's all yours, man.
Man, you're a better guy than me. So you're a Rangers fan. You're at a Rangers game. I can't think of any. Nick Solak hits a walk-off home run to you, Houston. You catch it. You're Tom Deshawn, SportsCenter, SC Top 10, and you're giving it to a kid?
I mean, when you put it like that, I have to say I'm on the fence about it.
I just got you up for it. I can't push you over. Nah, I've been in that. Well, I've never caught one on the fly. I've been close, but then I don't know if you've ever had a baseball hit extremely fast at you and it makes that hissing sound. It made the hissing sound. I got the hell out of the way. And then I just wait for the carom. And uh, yeah, I play it safe, because after all, it's just a piece of leather and yarn with a little rubber ball inside of it. So why does everybody fight? But no, I've been booed at minor league baseball games because I've gotten a foul ball and I didn't give it to a kid. Like I waited my entire life for this moment. For this, that was my time to shine in Sacramento, California, in front of 3,000 people when I got that foul ball, and I made it known that I got the foul ball. So yeah,
Man, I didn't know I was doing this show with that kind of person.
yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No. See, when I don't have my pre-planned topics, I get cranky. So I gotta take baseball cards from kids and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Baseball.
yeah, I know, man.
Yeah, no. If I caught a home run ball, I'm not giving it back, dude. Even in batting
Yeah,
practice.
yeah. If it was like a walk-off home run or something like that. Let me say this. Let me say this. Now that I sit here and think about it, if it's just like Nick Solak's home run or a walk-off home run, yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep it. But if it's like Adrian Beltre's like 400th home run, then obviously I'm
Oh,
not gonna keep
you're holding that thing for ransom.
I don't want to be Steve Bartman.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of what Moises. He could have jumped. He could have jumped. But But if you have you ever seen the documentary on Bartman that night? It's insane. It's pretty
It
crazy.
is.
Yeah,
And the freaking Cubs offered him a World Series ring. And
yeah,
his best friend went on camera and was like, he's still not coming out. Like, if you want
yeah,
me to give it to him, I'll give it to him, but he's still not coming out. And I'm just like, let the man live. Like,
yeah. I mean,
let,
that dude's more elusive than the Loch Ness monster. Like, there's been more Bigfoot sightings than Steve Bartman sightings. But I mean,
oh,
you
God.
can't blame him with all the hatred that he got because there's some crazy ass Cubs fan. It's probably not as bad now since they won the World Series, but there probably being like some sort of assassination attempt on that dude. Like, still, I
And, and there's one, you can always guarantee there's always one.
yeah.
There's
Oh,
always one. There's going to be that one Cubs fan that's like still sitting there, like in the shower every night, being like, I wish I could find Steve Bartman and I wish I knew where he lived or something like that.
yeah. Ask Abraham Lincoln. He only needed one John Wilkes Booth, right? So, but and the reason I brought that up was because last night, and I had thought this game was actually in Philadelphia, which I was wrong. I found out today. So Braves Phillies. Freddie Freeman hit a home run. He actually hit it into the bullpen, and there was a father and son wearing Phillies gear, and they asked for the ball. They threw the ball up to him, right? And then I don't know if they called the kid over or if the kid came over because a lot of times kids will come over and ask for the ball, and that really kind of pisses me off. Like, I'm not a baseball player. Why are you asking me for this ball? This was the greatest athletic achievement in my short little life, catching this baseball at a Major League Baseball game. So I'm basically the right fielder. Did you see what I just did? But anyway, I got off topic. But
if you want me to sign for you and give it to you, I will.
yeah, right. Oh yeah, sweet spot, baby, sweet spot. But so they ended up giving a baseball to a Braves fan, and then it took off on Twitter. Hey, you guys need to recognize this guy. And then I seen today that I forget what the name of Atlanta's new ballpark is. Is it SunTrust or
I
something?
think so. That's right.
but yeah, they were at the Braves game again today, and then Freddie Freeman came out and gave him some fist bumps and gave him a signed baseball. And they said he got a Bryce Harper autographed baseball as well. So I don't know, but also, so I'm the don't give it to the kids. You're maybe. Do you throw the ball back? Would you throw a ball back? A home run ball, because nobody cares about foul balls. Nobody, throw a foul ball back. That'll teach them. But so if you caught a home run ball, would you throw it back?
Yes, if there's two players that if they hit a home run, I would throw it back and I would absolutely try to hit them with it as they were rounding the bases.
You
I
are
would
blowing
launch it.
my mind right now.
So what?
You're blowing my mind right now. It's like I don't even know who you are. You're giving baseball to kids and throwing back home run balls.
There's two players that if they hit a home run and I caught it, I'm throwing it and I'm absolutely aiming to try to hit them as they're rounding the bases.
All right.
The first one, Nelson Cruz, because I have not forgiven him for his 2011 World Series missed catch. Routine fly ball, kid acts like he's never caught. Like, I don't know how to track this ball. Wasn't even close.
That's why Bartman won't come out of hiding, because you people hold grudges.
And this second was not going to make that any better. I'm just going to stereotype even more. The second one, Jose Bautista and his freaking bat flip was against the Rangers.
Oh, but I mean, Rogie took care of that. He punched him in the jaw, though.
I mean, he did, but I'm not one for living vicariously through revenge.
Oh, that is awesome.
If some guy attacks me in the parking lot, I don't want to watch you beat him up.
Yeah, well, maybe he knocked you out, so and you're coming to.
But yeah, any other player, I'm definitely going to keep it or at least consider keeping it. But if Nelson Cruz or Jose Bautista hits a home run and I catch it, as they're rounding second, I'm launching that thing like a freaking rocket. Yeah. And one kid actually did that with Aaron Judge. I think it was in Fenway.
Yep, the dude was on the Green Monster. So I think that helped with the distance. Well, left field in Fenway Park is a pretty short porch. And then with the height of the Green Monster, you're 40 feet up in the air. But yeah, he actually hit Aaron Judge with it. It was a hell of a throw.
Yeah, and it landed like a few feet short, but it bounced up and hit him in the shoulder. Yeah. And I'm not trying to do that with Nelson Cruz or Jose Bautista. I'm just trying to hit him in the head with it.
Well, they still have the batting helmet on too, and they might have the flap. So they're left, so it would be on the right side of their face when they're rounding. See, I would do what they do at Wrigley Field. So people think that, they catch the ball, they throw it back. They do not do that. They have fake balls. So, it's not actually fake. Like, it's not a sock rolled up. So you go to Walmart or wherever, Dick's Sporting Goods, get $2.99 China ball. You can't tell the difference when you chuck it. So yeah, and that pro tip, that's what they do at Wrigley Field. So I would always bring a old batting practice ball if you're going to set in the outfield. So that way you can throw that. You look like the hero. You still got the baseball. But then the only downside is if it's a significant home run or RBI or hit for that player, they'll probably think that you threw it back on the field, and then they won't authenticate the ball once it leaves the field of play. So you could cost yourself some money, because that's what I'm about, is catching that significant ball, that home run, so I can put one of my 4 kids through college, or at least pay their books for a semester.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And speaking of home runs, have you seen the videos? 3 or 4 years old, this kid has a ball, and he catches a home run ball, and he has both balls in his glove, but he takes the ball out that he had before and hands it to a girl, and they're both like 10 years old, so everybody's like, he just gave it. But then, like, once they slow the camera down and everything, he takes the one that wasn't a home run ball and gives it to her, and everybody's like, thug life.
Yeah, the old switcheroo.
Yeah.
But that was I think that was a fun episode. Probably one of our best yet.
Yeah, so, it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, people
I
are.
got to figure out that you hate children.
Yeah. Well, you. I know you've seen the Michael Jordan meme, but I'm not gonna drop the f bomb about them kids. So try and keep it PG, related in case we end up getting a sponsor. So got to keep them
Yeah.
happy, kind of like NASCAR. But so next week we should have our guest. Fingers crossed. And I kind of did a little sleuthing on Twitter. If you've seen me today and tracked down another player, so I slid into his DMs, and I'm going to try to get him on. He played in Taiwan, played in Japan, played in Korea, and he played in MLB for the Yankees and the Red Sox. So it'd be kind of cool to hear how that rivalry is. So I'm going to try to butter him up, maybe throw out the Chipotle gift card and see if I get any takers on coming on, and hopefully we can go big time and get some professional athletes on. Yeah. But oh, I know today you were having a stack sale this weekend. You were having a stack sale on Twitter. You want to plug that?
Yep, stack sales. Got 45 stacks. A lot of Don Russ rated rookies and some color in there. Even some of those sweet Unleash cards that people are 50-50 about. Some hate them, some don't.
I do
too. I think they're a fun card to look at, considering some of the stuff that's out nowadays. And that's good till 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, Monday morning. Then the stack will close. And we hit over 1,100 followers on Twitter. Chasing the Graph did. So
nice.
That's awesome. And my interview with former UNC Tar Heel and Alabama Crimson Tide men's basketball player Justin Knox is going to drop this Wednesday. That's one I've been sitting on for like over a year now. So Justin Knox, if you see this, I'm sorry. I apologize. But so stack sale, interview with Justin Knox, 2 things happening. So be checking those out.
Awesome. I got nothing to plug.
You got something.
I need to sell baseball cards. Nah, I've just been doing the in-person autograph sale that happens on Saturday. I make like $15 in a weekend, and that's good for me. And it's a lot of work. So it's just for selling 7 cards. So I can only imagine how stressful it is for you selling, a couple hundred cards and figuring out everybody's address, who paid for what, and the shipping and everything. So it's a huge undertaking. People, I don't think they realize how much work you actually put in to selling more than one item on Twitter or eBay or Facebook. So yeah. So same time next weekend. Hopefully we'll be a thruple instead of just us. Fingers crossed. We'll invite him, see if he accepts the rose. And yeah, so thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you next weekend. Bye. And the weird pause as usual.